Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines. December 27th.
That's something that happens pretty fast. And it's almost like, you're ice skating, if you're a good ice skater, that is. And you're just skating through.
So let's see what your helicopter clue could be. Yeah, this is fast. This is Uranus too. It is around a group of people. This is someone falling on their head. This is that horse in reverse again. Knights often represent military, and this, as an Aries card, this is an Aries card, could represent military personnel, travelers, and it's not a great aspect in the reverse.
Welcome to Royal Revelations. I'm Astrologer Val Evans. It is Friday, January 31st, and Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot, and I will be making predictions and focusing today on world headlines, the UK, and of course, the royal family. Who's gut punched in the next 4 weeks? We're going to tell you. I am a former journalist and PR executive, so if you don't know anything about astrology, you'll love how we break down the UK tabloid headlines every Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 p.m. BST. So hit the subscribe button to get your weekly notification. We've got big news that just hit the wires about Prince Andrew today, which we will discuss. And if you're new here, we show you how to make your own predictions by teaching you how to review your solar return chart. And that reveals your monthly forecast. A special thanks to members, and they make this show possible, the valedictorians. If you'd like to become one and support us, please click the join button. Members get special videos that explain how to make predictions in more detail. You'll want to follow me on Instagram at Val Evans Astro for more content. Now, tomorrow at 8 p.m. BST, 2 p.m. EST, Eastern, I'll be live streaming just for members the future of Princess Athena, Princess Beatrice's newborn, using asteroids, and it is straight out of a mythology book. I'm getting help from Beatty Salerno, who just put a book out, so you're not going to want to miss that one. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Thank you, Angel D, for moderating for us. Michelle, Marie, Jan, Caper Girl, and Star Sleuth is here. We've got Janet, Susie, and Katie. Let's see, Elfaz, Vicky. I hope I remembered everybody. And still more people are coming in. Jen, Eleanor, Jen from Minnesota. Nice to see you. And let's see. Yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. Jen, is that an Irish leprechaun in the image? I'm not sure if it's Irish, Scottish. We're gonna have a lot of questions to talk about today. Hello from England, Michelle. We've got a lot of English folks here and Canadians and Australians. So nice to see you. Hello, bonsoir, Santana, and hello from Wales. We get some folks from Sussex too. So nice to see you, Ricky, and Tonani's here. Welcome, everyone. Gibson, Vicky, Buckeye is here. Would you consider doing a reading on the 1961 Sabina 548 plane crash in Prague, which killed the Olympic skating team? The cause of that one was never found. Yeah, we should definitely do that one. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay, so I'm going to get through a couple of slides first. Thanks, guys, for waiting. I just had to do a few finishing touches on this. If you love true crime, you're going to want to tune in. Defense Attorney Bruce is in the house. He's a friend of the channel, and he's going to be coming on next week. We're going to be breaking down the very latest on the Kohberger trial. So looking forward to that one. This is probably the first defense attorney, the first criminal defense attorney that I've ever talked to that loves cards and charts. So he's great. And we've done another show with him before, so you have to check that one out. We had some shocks start right away in January, and these thumbnails, they really, they ring true. And this terrible tragedy on the Potomac in Washington, D.C. has been on a lot of people's minds. It's my hometown. It's Amber's hometown. So definitely a difficult topic. We're going to talk about the Irish omen, and this is kind of crazy. There are a lot of Irish omens. If you get an itch on your left hand, you're getting money. If you get an itch on your right hand, it's something else. I mean, if you look it up, it's pretty interesting. But I was looking at I was looking at the omen. At least I think it's an omen of a lot of people kind of giving Prince William a hard time in this latest sports event that he attended. And so I thought we could talk about that a little bit. And there it is. It's the Celtic fans bombarded the British heir to their throne with anti-royal chants throughout the game, including ones about the prince's brother, the Duke of Sussex, according to the Telegraph. I'm not sure what they said, but I would love to know. We knew there was going to be a lot of Aquarius, and that's what Amber was getting as well. And so we were, just putting a lot of airplanes and just a lot of air travel. And then remember, we had that twin clue and the twin engine. So something was coming up, and we weren't quite sure what it was. And is it finished? Are we going to be seeing a couple of other accidents because of the twin? There's usually something that's twinning from that. And if you want to check out Amber, go to Taurus Moon Tarot 761 on YouTube, and you can get her information for a reading in the description box. Don't forget to check out The Secret Career Code and Forensic Astrology 101. These are my two books, and great if you are interested in finding out what's going on with your job, what your boss is going to be doing in the coming months, who your coworkers are, do they really like you, and lots of information about your employment and also your life purpose. This is the book from B.D. Salerno I mentioned, and I mentioned it the other night, Asteroids. So fascinating. I have a copy of it, and it's great reading. So we're going to try going forward to focus on the asteroids. And so if you're interested in pulling your own solar return chart, go to AstroSeek, pull your horoscope or your birth chart, then click the solar return year, the last year you had your birthday, and then the solar only tab. And we were talking about some stuff that's coming up, and I'm going to show you what I'm getting. Not all bad. We've got some good stuff coming up, but let me bring in Amber. And actually, I want to move this. I'm going to move it to breaking news. And here we go. Hey, Amber.
Hi there.
Wow, lots of stuff happening, lots of news right now. Trump, this accident, lots of blame. Have you been following it?
You can't get away from it.
I know, it's awful.
Yeah.
And it's just shocking. In fact, we were live streaming when the accident took place, and we were talking about Aquarius. If anybody was live with us, that was kind of nuts. So we were just we were ready for something Aquarius related, but not always is it bad. So Aquarius can mean things that go very fast, and also it can mean rebels. It can mean futuristic thinking.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to be seeing some rebels coming in. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this next week, but I would say in the coming weeks, there's going to be a little bit of, I'm going to say a war between the king and the rebels.
Yeah.
But before we get started and I tell you some of my clues, I wanted to talk to you about your pre-spread or what you were thinking about for the show.
I pulled the Aquarius card again.
No way.
I did, along with the Sagittarius card, and the imagery with that plane on the Sagittarius card and the POW, and it was resonating so much. I couldn't believe both of these cards came out. The only two from the astrological deck. But the other thing that came out when I saw this, and I've kind of been paying more attention to the language on this particular deck, it's the innovative voyage. And the word there's a voyage that sort of stuck out to me. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And Jupiter energy was strong because I did get the Wheel of Fortune with the Sagittarius card. So these two together both represent Jupiter themes. But for today, I did get the Devil and the Two of Swords. So this is blocking something possibly addictive, something possibly evil or nefarious or difficult Capricorn kind of energy.
Could it be two devils?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
the
my
Two of
God.
Swords.
And Michelle, I was thinking the same thing. Someone said there was a near miss at the same airport, BW, no, not BW, DCA,
Mhm.
a little earlier than the crash, a twin. So yeah, it was a near miss the day before with
Oh
another
gosh.
plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had also seen, I tried to find it, but we were looking at that truck that went off the Potomac Bridge. I think it was the 14th Street Bridge
Yep.
or yeah. And we were like, "Oh, is that an omen?" And
Yeah.
so we knew something was going to happen, but was it an omen for this crash, or are these crashes an omen for something bigger, like
Right.
maybe government? I don't know.
Well,
Um,
today there's news just in the last hour at the Naval Academy, not far from DC, that it's locked down due to a live action bomb threat, and it's all over the news as we speak. I haven't seen an update, but it was a real
Whoa.
threat, not a false alarm.
No, no. Okay, so bombs. Well, that would certainly be sudden.
Yeah,
That is crazy. Okay.
to watch.
So that's stateside, but we do world predictions. So that I think it's relevant for sure. And then Prince of Wales, William, does he care about whales? Ooh, that's a good question. We don't know.
Mm.
Um, Angel, you said you just woke up Saturday morning in Australia. So no, not Friday for you. I forgot about that. And Wales government is crazy. Interesting. Okay. Yes, Gemini twins. Star Sleuth, you said there's an asteroid name for a Welsh god Aron that shows up in British celebrity charts sometimes. Paula says they were singing Walking in Harry Wonderland. I'm not sure what that means. I think this is an earlier conversation. Oh, well, it's Princess Catherine's mom's 70th birthday today. And yes, Angel, itchy right ear. Someone is talking badly of you. That's a good one. Um, Thank you, Gibson. That is so sweet of you. And I agree, it is needed. We try to, we try to look at the perspective of both sides. Sometimes it doesn't come off that way if you just see one show. But if you look at, a bunch of our shows, you'll see that we try to, try to give some perspective on both sides.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jan, you said the Potomac incident feels dodgy. It's going to be just the beginning, I think, and we'll get into that. So now what I'm going to do is show some of these clues. Breaking news: a famous woman. This is what I get. I get the rebel's revenge, and also maybe a twin accident or something that is sudden. That is a twin somewhere around the world.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to see what that is. We are about to look at the chart for February 2nd, and that's going to be Sunday at midnight. And here's the chart. This is for London. And we had this conversation before, Amber, about, is the chart the same for everybody? It's generally the same, but if you look at, say, Los Angeles, the ascendant for that chart, for that time, they're a few degrees into Scorpio now. So we're kind of, with London, we're kind of lagging a little bit, which I wonder would make one think that west of London, are there themes that are coming up that we can take a look at for England and the UK? But what we're going to do looking at this chart is we're going to look at the ruling sign of Libra, because that's where the ascendant is in. 29 degrees isn't so strong. It's a little weak, but there it is. And so we're going to look at Venus. And Venus this week just happens to be in a stellium of Pisces. So this is going to be like, I think this is movie worthy. This is a famous woman. Could be a very beautiful actress, famous, beautiful actress. And there's some kind of news that's coming in, maybe. The fifth house is a restaurant. It's families. It's maybe a famous woman that went missing before. And it can also mean spies. We're seeing that a lot too because of Prince Andrew. There's a spy theme in there. And there was a pretty bad headline that came out. I think it was today.
Oh.
about Prince Andrew. There's proof now that he actually he said that he ended his relationship or his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, but it was actually 1 year after what he said. So not a good look right now for Prince Andrew. And so the thing is that there's an opposition with the South Node. So this could be a woman who is emotional, who is somebody who's kind of like in despair for something, and definitely looks like, it's on the coast. It could be, let me see, could be something that has to do with drugs. So I was wondering if you could give us a clue on who this female might be.
My first thought was Angelina Jolie. That was just, it popped into my head as soon as you started describing this. So let's see what cards might give us.
That would be an actress. Yep.
Clues. And she's on the coast, at least that I know of. That's a yes. I was asking, am I on the right track? So someone like her. I mean, and she also has a global, stage for her as an ambassador, and she travels. And I don't know, is she walking away from... This may have to do, this is like another maybe lawsuit, or it's like re-establishing as being a victim of something. Talking about, there's Mercury here, talking about
healing.
And
healing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because I remember I was looking at the solar return chart for, what's his name? The serial killer, Ted Bundy.
Mm.
And in the month that he had Pisces, like he had a bunch of victims that year in that solar return chart that he had. But in Pisces, there was one victim in that month, and her name was Healy, which is kind of crazy. So it gave sort of that Pisces type of thing, clue. And congratulations, Angel D. Congratulations to us that you've been around so long. So thank you so much.
And you mentioned spy, and she played a spy.
She did. And I believe there was something that she did. Oh, what was it? When she was much, much younger, she might have said something like she liked spy novels or something like that. But there's also some kind of spy theme for when she was very young, too. So that's pretty interesting. And okay. So Jan. Yes, unfortunately, it seems he does. And we don't judge. We don't, because this was his purpose on this planet. So, he's just got to get through it and try to, move on, transition out of something pretty bad that he did. So thank you, Angel 120 watching. Please take a sec to hit the like button to support us. It's free. And let's see. Okay, they've got they've got a very woke labor government called the Seneth, pronounced Seneth in Welsh. Okay. And okay, everybody's talking about waking, but I guess that was your contribution about woke. Yeah, it's woke can be pretty extreme. Everything can be extreme. So yes, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they were spies. And let's see. Okay. So what's the thing about the Macron wife? Genevieve, nice to see you. Welcome. Okay, so let me get back to this. Now, for those of you who are just joining us, we like to look at the chart of the week, and sometimes it can give us little clues about what might be happening. And so we look at the charts, and then we get the cards to validate or even give us new ideas. But this is really interesting. We have got a stellium in Aquarius, which is the rebel zodiac sign. And of course, it opposes the sign that is for the king. So the king does not like the rebels. The king does not like the unorthodox. And so I'm not exactly sure. It does seem like something's being planned right now by the rebels, because you can see this with Leo. Some way to bring down an authority, a big, big authority, could be the head of state. So Mercury is thinking about, 8 degrees is the Scorpio degree. So that's revenge. Somebody's thinking about revenge. And then on top of it, as a double whammy, it is conjunct Pluto, which is the planet of revenge. So these are a lot of vengeful, rebellious thinkers. And with the sun in Aquarius, this could mean perhaps some of them are in power. But who do you think these people are? And what do you think they're doing?
Do you feel like it could be connected to what William experienced with
Yes,
that
because
similar?
absolutely, yeah. These were anti-monarch groups.
Looks like someone holding picket signs. This looks like protest. I'm holding this picket sign, standing my ground to say my piece. It's financially motivated. It's about an imbalance in finances or money. There's like, I have 2 coins and you have a lot of coins. Something about money. Maybe it's about budget.
Maybe government workers. Yeah, government workers. You see immediately after this disaster, which, by the way, is a word of Leo. You know that Trump and a lot of other, big, powerful people, they use the word disaster all the time. And so that was kind of an omen in itself that he comes in. He just says disaster all the time. Well, he's going to be seeing some disasters. But then, without even hearing about what it could be about, he assumes that it's the woke culture, it's DEI, and gets a lot of people angry. And I wonder if this is going to get this element, this faction of people who want to nip it in the bud early, because otherwise maybe they're thinking they're going to really suffer. So a lot of people who are diverse, who might be wanting to strike. And I think that could be the word for strike. The strike brings down the king. Also, keep in mind that he's imposing tariffs as of tomorrow on Canada and
China and Mexico.
And so with the Aquarius there, remember how Ontario is threatening a blackout. So this could also work into the blackout. Can I ask you, will the United States be seeing a blackout in the near future because of this political turmoil?
This is someone who's in the middle of the night, up at night with insomnia, and it's dark out. I mean, that's a possible yes. Yes. Yeah, this is like people that are out in the cold. So a blackout, if the power's out, you may not have heat, electricity.
Yes. And Marie's saying there was an electromagnetic storm when the plane crash happened. I did not know that. Hi, Edie. Nice to see you. And Toy, great to see you too. Anything else?
Yeah, it's like it's a power play around money of like, we take something from you to gain something. It's about an imbalance of power.
That's what it would be. Yeah.
Literal, but yes.
That's spot on. Jan, you said February 1st, London frees the political prisoners, released Tom Robb from solitary march. Oh, I did not know that. Okay. Genevieve, you said Mexico asked Google not to change the name Gulf of Mexico. Can you believe it? Have you been seeing all these things on Instagram of what we can rename the Gulf of Mexico? Not that it's a funny thing, but Gulf of Buc-ee's, which is a popular place in Texas. I love that one.
People get very creative.
Yes, they do.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so let's get back to this. And so then I had, Mercury is 2. So this is the twin. So there's going to be twin strikes. So we might see 2 strikes. From this group, and then from that group, that are very powerful. The sun is power. So it looks like a power, some kind of a strike, or maybe not a strike, but like a power outage. Could be a
Yeah.
a pretty big power outage. And
Yeah.
why do I say that? Because of Pluto. Pluto means really big.
A lot.
And yeah, and then it's trining Gemini. So again, more groups. I think definitely a group is striking, and it looks like it could be a problem at first, but they might be able to work through this because of that trine there. There could
Yeah.
be somebody who's negotiating there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get to Camilla's soul return now. And so she started July 17th. She started her solar return. And so now we're in the 7th house. Now, when you have a house where there's a bunch of signs, it's going to be quite a month. It's going to be lots of different realities that you have to deal with. I have enough realities. I
Yes.
want to just deal with one planet. But in this case, she's going to be dealing with 3 planets. So the Lord of Cancer, which is the moon, the Lord of the Lord of Leo, which is the sun, and the Lord of Virgo. And so that would be Mercury. Now, we're in January, late January. So it's January 31st. I'd say we're getting into the Leo period, maybe in a couple of days, but then the sun is going to activate. So the moon is now, it's up here in the 9th house, which there's a square to Leo. So there's something happening there. She's not able to speak possibly to someone that she wants to talk to. But remember, in this day and age, Leo means corona. It is COVID. So I wonder if there's a possibility she could be exposed to the COVID virus in the next month.
Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, this is like you're fighting something off. Could be a yes. It's in the upright, but it's battling something. And it goes from the 5 to the 6, which is really interesting because that's overcoming something. She might overcome an illness.
Okay. Well, my next question is kind of like you almost gave the answer, I think. And that is, are we going to have a second COVID event? And it looks like there's a bunch of people battling there, huh? Like maybe a lot of people are battling it. So hopefully not. But I'd like to know. That would be a shock if we had to deal with it again.
You know, I think there might be a scare of it. This is a yes to the question, but it's very small. It's, maybe it's more localized. Maybe it's eradicated quickly. Maybe it's handled, it's not as widespread. This is more of a local thing. We might see headlines around a local outbreak or regional outbreak.
And it would be typical for the news, the international news, to really jump on it and make it bigger than it is.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Jen, yep, I know what you're talking about. Yes, actually vaccines are being spoken about a lot. That's a lot of Pisces. We're going to hear a lot about vaccines. Oil is also part of the narrative with Pisces. You know what's so weird is when we have a big Neptunian influence, which we do now because Neptune is getting into the end of Pisces. And this means it's too much. It is excessive.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing a lot of things that are Neptunian. But what I thought was really interesting is the word tranny is actually a way, or it is equipment that you use in the oil industry to get oil. Isn't that crazy? So, and that's Neptunian. And so transvestite is also Neptunian.
Right.
So it's so weird how it's all very Neptunian related. You're seeing a lot of people who are trying to figure out their identity right now too. And because everything is sort of out of bounds.
Yeah.
And
would that describe like an oil rig that's in the ocean?
Yeah.
That'd be
okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
we have those and call them sea cows.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's true. Yeah. Now, Sky News is going and closing. Eleanor, you said bird flu in UK currently. Okay, interesting. So that might be coming up.
Yeah.
But there is such an effort to scare everyone right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can think, like, you can look at one of the tabloids right now and think of 5 different ways you might become ill or worse.
Yeah.
Oh, am I really? Oh, did I say? Oh God. Oh well. Well, I'm still on. They can delete this show. I'm so glad somebody knows what words we shouldn't talk about.
I'm trying to think what you said. I'm like, what words were?
Okay, so now this is
Oh,
okay. So Mercury's going to be coming in a little bit closer to February 17th, and there it is right here.
I
This
can't
is
see it.
oh shoot, I keep doing that. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm just flustered knowing that I just said 10 words that I shouldn't. But all right, so let me show you here. So this is Camilla's month. We're going to be getting into Leo territory probably early February. Venus is a big one. Venus rules her 9th house. It looks like she can't travel, which would be in opposition to Pluto. It would be, yeah, I mean, it's kind of in a T square there. It's a little bit of a challenge. And then we're getting into the king degree here. There is a lot of talk about being a royal, being a queen. It's with the 9th house. So it seems as if there could be maybe some kind of article that comes out about her being a queen. And so I wondered, maybe we should ask what is happening with Camilla in February.
You know, the first word that popped into my mind was quarantined. And right as you were saying queen, I heard the word quarantine because the first 2 cards I got for the show, it is being stopped from doing something. It's being stuck somewhere. It made me think of that too.
Yes.
Let's clarify what it might be for her. You know, it's interesting. I think she's going to be at home with her family,
Okay.
you know, or we might see her at church. This is official capacity. This is her role, her leadership. She might do something from a leadership standpoint in or around religion and her family. I don't know what in February that could be.
She's trying to stick with the rules.
Yeah.
She's laying low. But funny how pentacles, unless it's my imagination, do we get pentacles a lot with Camilla? So,
Yes.
oh God, Fred. Apparently the UK announced it had its first foot and mouth outbreak the other week, but seems to have been buried with last week's news. And Neptune would be feet. So, you know, we hear lots of weird stuff these days about, you know, feet things, foot things.
Yes.
Okay, Elphaz, you said her Daily Mail is laying off lots of their people. Yes, Pentacles is money. Camilla is star sign Cancer too. We are homebodies. Yep, and good cooks too, as well as very, very intuitive. Okay, and let's see what else I have here. Now, this is Prince William. He's getting into something kind of dicey here. It's just for a little while. And this little trio here, very critical people. And I think this is coming in with how he was being treated at that Aston game he was in. And so you can see this is June. So we would count June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Then this is January 21st and February 21st. So we are in here. And Pluto is activated. So we got to look and see where Pluto is. Looks pretty good. I mean, with this nice grand trine here. It's a nice triangle. It's in there for a little while. And then at the very end, this is going to be Jupiter here. Gosh, this Black Moon Lilith here, though, it just looks so nasty. And it makes me think that something's coming up here when it comes to maybe the press, the court. But let's look and see what Jupiter's doing, because that's when this is going to be activating. It's going to be right before. So this would be January. This would be like January 20th. I'm sorry, February 20th.
Yeah.
And so we would look at Jupiter here, and it's in the third house. So, whoa, that's talking to your brother.
Right.
We talked about this to some degree, but it
Yeah.
kind of looks like this is coming up sooner than we think.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility? Oh, you know what? I think that it was in the news that Meghan and Prince Harry are going to come over to see Beatrice's baby.
Ah.
So it's the christening. Are they all going to see each other at the christening?
Which is religious.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess what's the reason Harry and Prince William might see each other?
Feels like a big question. Wow. Underneath is the tower. It's explosive. It's a big deal. And it's coming to fullness. This is something coming to completion or coming to a head. Not necessarily money, but it's like I see it as like this is coming to fullness. But it's explosive. Oh, we may not see a lot of interaction, though. There could be a little bit of aloofness.
Okay. Well, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's definitely a very standoffish kind of energy, the Four of Cups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it could be for the christening, if that's the time frame.
Yeah.
But I could also see that it's because of some issues that are coming in that they need to talk about something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
By the way, it's always interesting to see what's going on when someone's born. And I thought it was really good for Princess Beatrice's daughter, Athena. On the day she was born, I think Prince William was out and about, and he was in the news, which is this is really good for your chart. If your uncle is in the news, is it uncle or
Uncle? No, cousin.
If your cousin, the powerful one, is in the news and doing something good. And I think, isn't it interesting that with Beatrice's Aquarius, like she's the Aquarian in the family, and Prince William at the time she was born was looking at something scientific. I think he was at a lab.
He was doing some kind of
Yes. So I think that's going to speak to Athena's life in some way. And she also has a couple of 8s, I think, in her birth time. But her mom does as well. So that's transformation. That is the monarchy. So, Jen, you said just pull the 10 of Cups in reverse for William. So I guess, would that be resources, or what would that be?
That 10 of Cups in reverse, or 10 of Cups.
10 of Cups.
That's sort of being a little bit self-absorbed. A little bit self-absorbed, egotistical.
Yeah, that's possible. He needs to be a little bit more humble, and that day may come. And CR user, I have a friend here in San Francisco Bay, California, who worked with Meghan on the cooking show. Do tell. We need to know. How did it go? Is she still employed? Okay, so let me get this up again. Yeah. The moon in the 9th house is good press normally, but it is in this terrible squaring here. And the moon represents the family. So these are people being incredibly, incredibly critical here of the family. And gosh, I'm not sure what that could be about. Could be the foreign people, could be the court, but Virgo is also healthcare. And the other thing too is, notice how there's an opposition with Cancer, and these are the homeless people. So is Prince William going to have more problems with the homeless in the next couple months?
I had the 5 of Pentacles earlier. I did before we started, and I thought I'll remember that. That is sort of a homeless card, people on the streets. I'm actually reading this as like he's finishing something with it. There's a completion to something. Maybe he wraps up a particular thing. There might actually be success. This is not exactly a positive card all the time, but it's like a successful ending to something.
Yes, and with that moon in the ninth, that is trying to call attention. Something is, maybe coming to fruition, but now that it's completed, that Virgo energy comes in, and it's sort of like, well, it's not exactly like what we expected. It could be something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will's been housing veterans for 20 years, but no houses built.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let me see here. Okay. Oh, he promised 18 houses. That's not that many.
Yeah.
So maybe it was kind of like a pilot project or something. I don't know. Okay, this is Prince William's transit progressed house. And let's see. A lot of stuff in the 8th house of real estate. So real estate is kind of at the moment, because of this Pluto square, it's a Pluto squaring Pluto.
Yeah.
So he is trying to transform. Things are kind of stuck right now. He's frozen in a sense.
Yes. I can't see it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, why do I do this all the time? Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. And so there you go with Pluto and squaring Pluto. So you can see all of these planets here in the progressed house, in the 8th house of real estate and transformation, and he's just kind of stuck. So then, I mean, not only does he have transit Pluto squaring his natal Pluto, but he has transit Neptune squaring his natal Neptune. And these are extremely difficult. Just trying to move and be successful, be positive, have support that you need. And it's just really, really stuck. Neptune too can also mean scandals and also things that are religious. But what he has is something that is very, very good. And that is this big blue, rectangle. It is the mystic rectangle in there, and that helps him a lot. He, he's able to hide when he wants to. Neptune, when you have a nice, a nice square or a nice trine or a nice sextile, this can show that you're able to, and I said this early in 2024, it's almost like he has a disguise.
Yeah.
And so he keeps using that disguise somehow.
Yeah.
How is he using this disguise?
That beard, he looks so different to me. I know it's not a disguise, but he looks very different now.
Yes. Thank you, Green-Eyed. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So in my mind, he's doing like his mother used to do, because she used to use disguises just to go to the pub, So I want to know, what is he using a disguise for besides the beard?
Yeah. I cannot believe this card. The Hermit. This is the person that, hides and stays, below the surface behind the curtain. It's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
But look at the cape and the beard on him. Yeah.
Oh my God. The beard.
And that long cloak. It's a cloak that he wears. The Hermit wears a cloak.
So he uses it to hide, to be alone.
Yeah. And the Hermit likes to be alone.
Okay. All right then. All right. Now, but this red line here is very tough, because when you have, like, if you look at your transit progressed house and you have the moon, this is your home. This is This is your emotional state. And isn't it weird how for him, the moon is in the 12th house, which often means, now it could mean a home that nobody sees. That's a possibility. But Pluto, the good news for him is that Pluto is coming off the moon. And that, the past 10 years, it's been a long time where his home is transforming. He, goes from living with Pa and Camilla to then he gets his own place and it's now in Kensington Square grounds. And then, other things happen where suddenly maybe he's going to be living somewhere else. So this is very typical of Plutonian transits, I think. And I think that's all I wanted to say, except for maybe his hidden enemies. And his hidden enemies are represented by Saturn, which are up here. Saturn, at this point, there are some hidden enemies opposing. Saturn is opposing Chiron. So these, I wonder who that is. It's in Aries, which could be military, could be, Can you tell us a little bit more about Prince William's hidden enemies? We're assuming he doesn't have any.
The Hermit. But, this is the Virgo card, which sometimes can be read as Harry because he's a Virgo. But this is someone also sort of, hiding in secret.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that you asked about a hidden enemy and the Hermit comes out.
Yes.
King of Swords on the bottom, though, is someone that has some power. They have a big voice. They're probably intellectual. They might be a doctor, lawyer, someone, I'm going to say lawyer versus doctor.
Okay.
Libra really, to me, is a little bit more doctory. I mean, Virgo. But yeah, maybe a lawyer.
Elphaz, you're like, Harry? That's a good question.
I didn't know that he's a hidden enemy, though.
Yeah, I know, right. Let's see what Harry is in his progressed. He would be the 3rd house lord. So we'd look at Venus, and Venus is here in the 5th house with the family. And Mars is starting to come off Venus. Well, it's still retrograde, so they're going to be pissed one more time before Mars gets out of Cancer. And that makes sense because, no, wait a minute. Mars will be changing signs. I think it's in a few weeks. So I wonder if that'll be some timing when it comes to the brothers, because it's going to be, Mars is going to be changing direction on the planet of Harry very soon in February. Strange. Okay. So that could activate something. And then Mars is out of there, and there's a possibility there could be maybe some reconciliation. Now, July 22nd is when Prince George starts his birthday. This is his solar return chart. And let's see. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That's July 22nd. Yeah. Okay. This is the solar return chart. And so interesting because we have Uranus and Mars at the top of the chart, which is people out in the open who are fighting for independence. God, it sounds like something from 100 or a couple hundred years ago, 200 years ago. But there's something where it could be he's fighting for his own independence. He thinks he's old enough. But his planet, we went over this before, which is Mercury. And it is, it's not the best. It's not the best this year. There's a lot of school issues and that kind of thing. But so what we want to do to see where he is in his chart, we go July, August, September, October, November, December, January 22nd is this. Okay, so we're in the Pisces area here. And so that's January 22nd to February 22nd. And we have something troubling here with regard to twins. So there's some stuff that needs to be done twice. And he's like, I'm not doing it twice. I don't know what that is. Saturn represents could be his family.
Mm.
Let me see. Jupiter means when you have a square to Jupiter, it means talking too much, and he does not want to talk that much.
Mm.
So what does it have to do with Prince George and having to communicate too much?
Hmm. Oh my gosh. The Eight of Wands in the upright. That is a lot of talking. That's a lot of communication. I'm going to clarify it, but I just love that it's essentially, yes. Oh my gosh. With will, this young knight with my will card, the magician, possibly talking about communication.
Okay.
Talking about communication.
That poor kid.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Oh, the star card, technology. Maybe he'll get involved in some of the stuff that Will does around technology. He doesn't want to do it. Maybe.
Can I ask you, will Prince George become a big star in 2025?
Mm-hmm. I can't believe that star card came out. Ooh, I'm going to say that's a no. Not a big star, but certainly maybe, sort of trapped in his own mind. This is sort of trapped in your own mind.
Okay, I don't know if I like that card.
Mm-mm. And the Chariot in reverse, more stuck. This is more like stuck kind of energy. Can't go forward, can't go backwards. You're just stuck on the side of the road.
Jen, you make a good question. I have a couple more questions for you. Are Will and Camilla trying to exile Catherine?
This is something I've not heard. It's a yes card, but it's a power struggle. It's like, how brave could they be? That would be a big power move. I don't know if I see that, but it's definitely something around power and control. This keeps coming up, and I keep getting that Voyage message, and this looks like a voyage, like they're shuffling someone away with their child. Maybe it is somebody going overseas.
Okay.
Or going overseas for school. It's not technically an exile.
Angel D, it's so funny you said that. Prince George gives off barren vibes, in my opinion, because when I was looking at the chart, I was remembering that for Baron's solar return chart, he also has Uranus at the top of his chart. And so he's doing all this stuff right now. He's opening a business. He's doing whatever he can in his own interest, which I think has to do with crypto and all of that. But do we have to, okay, let me think about this. This is an important question for you, and it has to do with Prince George. We talked about this before, but for 2025, how do I say this? What's the state of security for Prince George in 2025?
Oh, I would say it's strong, surrounded by a small group of a team. This is a team. It's a strong team. But the final card that came out is the Death card, protecting life, protecting during change. I wonder if he's moving. I kept saying the Four of Wands, which made me think about moving.
Okay. Interesting. Could the Death card also be like he changes security in a sense, like that security is done?
Yeah, could be. Yeah, for a stronger team.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the Strength card.
And Angel, you said you don't like the Magician card. Well, excuse me, that's Will's card. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay, and let me see. So for Prince George, he is in his 12th house perfection year. So this is the last year where he is going to be doing his little kid thing. And then he's going to start a whole new 12-year cycle. So it is difficult in the 12th house because you're just finishing things up.
Yeah.
And I mean, for a kid, it's a little bit different. But it's not as, I don't think, intense. Of course, he is the future king, so maybe there's something to it. But it also shows that people don't see you, that you're kind of behind the scenes and working, and maybe you want to be behind the scenes, but somebody wants you to talk all the time, and you're like,
Right.
oh, no, please no. So yeah. So anyway, well, thank you guys for coming in. And oh, hi, Michelle. Nice to see you. Yeah, poor George stuck between a rock and a hard place. And yeah, I always think of the Kennedys as American royalty too. There we go. Michelle, you're from Sussex. And okay, you never had good outcomes if I pull the magician card in a reading. Interesting. I actually like Wills. Okay, good. Well, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amber. It was very enlightening as usual. And we will see you guys next time.
Yes, sounds good. Thanks.